Hello, it is another one yet. It is called the Sex Party Show. There was a show that just ended some time ago that made a young Nigerian a millionaire. And I want to constructively give my opinion about that show. I wouldn't know the name of that show, Brotherhood, something whatsoever. But then I have my opinion about it, and it is a constructive opinion. Now, suffice it to say here that the Brotherhood, whatsoever it is called, is a stemming dangerous threat to the society. Why did I say this? It is a stemming dangerous threat to the society that could erupt another kind of societal menace if the content of the contestants of that show is not properly checked. If you go over to YouTube, you go over to social media platforms and discover the kind of despicable acts that were displayed by the Nigerian youth in this show, you begin to ask yourself the question, what is exactly wrong with the youth of Nigeria? What is exactly wrong with the people that organized this show? This is because this show is out there for the public to consume, for everybody to see. I took my time and went through social media platforms and discovered despicability virtually on its highest height. One question that should run across the minds of Nigerians is, what is the Brotherhood show supposed to teach the Nigerian youth? Is it supposed to teach the Nigerian youth morality on its climax, or is it supposed to teach the Nigerian youth sexual immorality? That is the question that we should ask. Now, I've taken my time to discover that Nigeria is seriously fighting against abortion, teenage pregnancy, fighting against pregnancy before marriage, and yet there is a free-for-all platform for everybody to watch and see despicability. How can you say you are fighting against teenage pregnancy? How can you say you are fighting against abortion and the rest of them, and you show to the populace what will aid some of the societal menace? Why am I saying this? In those days when I was younger, I and my younger brother, after watching Andres the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and the rest of them during wrestling, we just discovered that we go to the bed and we begin to practice what we have watched. After watching the likes of Commando and the rest of them, we pick up sticks and the war starts, and we begin to shoot because we are practicing what we have seen. Now, if you say you're fighting against sexual immorality in the society, and yet you give a free-for-all platform for anybody to showcase whatsoever he or she wants to do, what do you think will happen to the society? I want to believe that there are government parastatals or agencies that are instituted to check the content of some of these public shows. Did they really check the content of some of these shows that they are showing to the Nigerian populace? What are these agencies or parastatals doing? Now, permit me to say this. Is the Nigerian populace trying to legalize youth sexual immorality? It's a question. Are we trying to legalize youth sexual immorality? The reason I'm asking this question is this. Now, there are contestants in this show, and they said it and made it publicly even prior to carrying out their actions that they were going to have sex. And then the camera caught them doing some of these things. What should the producers or the owners of this show do? Is it not to kick them out of the show? But no, they didn't do it. They did not kick them out of the show. In fact, they absorbed them and then allowed for the public display of some of this despicability. Suffice it to say that no well-meaning society or religion supports the public display of sexual immorality. Now, I want to ask the question, what picture are the Nigerian youth showing to the world? What picture are we showing to the world by the reason of the display of such show? If you check in the world indices of national identity, statistics have always had it that Nigeria will be on the negative side. Are we trying to add one negative index to this negative statistics that we have in the world about Nigeria? Maybe the next thing now that will come up on air is that the Nigerian youths are the most sexual immoral youths of the world, by the reason of what we show to the world. And to make things worse, pastors are now partners in crime to some of these societal menace. My heart bleeds when I see a pastor come up on air to congratulate a youth from his or her church who went to such a show and displayed despicability, and then congratulate that member of his church. In the other bigger version, the African version, one of a notable pastor came up on air and said he's thanking God that a member of his church won the bigger version and is now a millionaire. Which God are you thanking? How did that member of your church win that competition? And the so-called member of the church won the competition on the platform of sucking the breast of another girl that is not his wife. And then a pastor will come up on air and say, I thank God that a member of my church won the show on a platter of sexual immorality. Which God are you thanking? Is it the God that supports sexual immorality, or the God that abhors and hates sexual immorality? Or are you thanking him because of the tithe and offering that is accrued from the money that is won? No, which God are you thanking? By the way, why are we Christians? Why do we say we are Christians? Our Muslim brothers cannot go on air and show such level of despicability. If any of our Muslim brothers or sisters should do that, that person would either face death by stoning, or that person will be amputated. But we claim to be Christians, and look at what we are supporting. And as for the young ladies that got involved in such a menace, it's a pity for you. I want to ask you, did you win the prize by giving out your bodies to those young men? You didn't win the ultimate prize. I want to say this to you. You have ended up selling publicly the body right of your future husband. Now, how is it going to sound? The day you are getting married and it makes the rounds all over Nigeria that Miss So-so and so, who got involved in a despicable sexual activity with Mr. So-so and so in the Brotherhood show, is now getting married. How is it going to sound in the mind of your husband? When your husband move along the street with you, and the thing that is making the round is, it is that girl that slept with so and so. You have publicly sold the right of your husband. You are a public disgrace to your husband. On a conclusive note, I want to say this. I'm in no wise condemning any activity that will bring the youth together. But the content of such activities should be checkmated. It should be checked to know what should be displayed to the public and what should not be displayed to the public. And of course, they used to say, wishes are not horses. And that's true. Because if wishes were horses, then to get a horse would have been very expensive and difficult. If I were in charge of certain things, there are some things that I will not let to see the light of the day. Have a rethink. Make a U-turn. Take a new leaf. Nigerian youths are not sexually moralist. We are decent people. And I know you that is watching, you are waiting to see one sex show that is displayed. It's quite a pity. My megabyte is not enough to show you any sexual activity. God bless you. See you on the next episode.
We have come with open hearts.